Hi everyone, welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapies. So I'm inside today because it's raining and windy outside, so I'm not on my usual place in the garden. So today's video I'm going to talk a little bit more about how are we doing as a collective, how are we doing, what are we consenting to, where is the sort of agenda taken, as if you like. So it's a bit more on the current events rather than the spiritual things, but one thing leads to another. We are all navigating these 3D lives as well as the 5D existence that we're working towards. So I'm just going to share a little story with you. I've got a friend who's 85. She's a lady who lost her husband 10 years ago, and that's why she became my friend, because she came to me for a reading around her husband 10 years ago, and she's become a friend. She's got no family. She lives in a modest one-story bungalow, one-story apartment, but it's a bungalow. We call them bungalows in the UK. So it's a modest one-story building, and she's just had an energy bill for £5,000 for a gas and electric. 5,000 English pounds for a pensioner on her own. So this has spiralled her into panic because, how on earth can a pensioner afford £5,000 when she has a modest lifestyle anyway? And she's a remarkable lady, and she's done really well over the last 10 years. Like I say, she doesn't have any family. She didn't have any children. So another thing that has made her feel really disheartened is she goes on an annual trip to the theatre. Every year she goes to a theatre in Buxton to see a production. This year she went. The car park she's been parking in for years and years has now turned into a you must pay on an app car park. Well, this lady doesn't even have the internet, let alone a smartphone. She's 85. She was 55 before the internet was even existed, and so for her it's a very confusing world. She went to have the meal out before the theatre. That was card only. She takes cash. What kind of world are we making for people that aren't into technology? It's really, really not good. So all I'm saying is, let's consider, what are we consenting to? Are we all just making do and putting up with all this, or are we thinking of ways in which we can, step into our sovereignty and not consent to this? We know that there's free energy. We've had free energy. Lots of civilizations have had free energy. And then the companies are making absolute fortune in profits. So what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I've got to be careful what I say because we're on YouTube, but there are ways that people are starting to take a stand back about this. And I would just say, explore it, yeah, it's just, while we keep consenting, they'll keep doing it. And I know that this is, we could say that it's all going to come good. It is going to come good. Believe me, it really is. I've got every faith in it. But the fact that these things are coming is so that we take a pushback. It's no good just saying, oh, it'll all be great, we're fine. No, it won't. We've got to stand up and say no, because if we don't say no, then they just take implied consent. So, I know that I withdrew my consent to govern, and I've sent that to the MP with the do not consent. It really is time to take action. Be the change you want. There's no point sitting around moaning about things. We've got to take direct action now. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying do anything that's going to cause disruption, as in social unrest or anything. I'm talking about peaceful ways of withdrawing our energy from these situations. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's time that we came together and stood in our power. I put lots of videos, didn't I, last week on about my trip to the seaside. Another one, they have cameras now on a lot of the car parks that if you drive into the car park, they have got your number plate and they charge you for parking even if you turn around and drive back out again. But actually that's unlawful. They cannot, there's been evidence that they cannot use CCTV, but they still do. So, you know, I don't know whereabouts you live, but definitely in England, you can't move now without a camera. And, you know, I just think it's time that people started withdrawing the consent from all this. So, like I say, I have to be careful what I say because I've already got one strike on YouTube. So, yeah, I'm just being a little bit careful with the words. Another thing, I have just written a protocol for anyone that has regretted making a choice last year when they were pushing a few of these. I've written a protocol that helps people to undo that. That's going to be in my new book, Spiritual Development in 5D, which will be coming out in the next couple of months. And I'm also going to put it as a free protocol on gillianengland.com because I know there's a lot of people that are regretting making those decisions that they made in 2021 and 2022, the medical decisions. So, you know, I have written a protocol and done a protocol which can help you switch up the energy of that as well. Okay, so I'm off on a bit of a rant today because I think that's where we are energetically. There's a lot coming in, isn't there? You know, the moon has looked ridiculous recently. We're 6 days away or 5 days away from a full moon and it's only just gone to half. It's crazy. And a couple of days ago it was such a slither and then 2 days later it was half. It just doesn't look right. If you are sensitive to the energies, you'll be feeling all of this. And if you are, you're not alone. You know, you're not alone. So I just want to say that, and I send all of you a lot of love. And you know, if you're stressing around energy bills or cost of living bills, take a look on Telegram. There's quite a few good channels on there that will give you advice. I know where we live, we've got pretty good community groups like Rapid Response Derby or Rapid Response Chat. That tells you a lot of stuff on there. So yeah. All right, I'll send you lots of love. Bye for now.